Hey there, Captain Cashflow from Digital Wealth Club here, where we turn money moves into major wins. Now, I know what you're thinking. Buy a house for $0 down? That sounds like a scam. Well, strap in because today I'm going to break down a super savvy strategy called creative financing that can make this very legal. And yes, it's total legal. Let's dive in. So, picture this. You want to buy a house, but you don't have that hefty 20% down payment. The average house in the US costs a couple $100,000. That's $20,000 just to get started. But what if I told you it's possible to buy a house with $0 down? That's what we're talking about today. Enter creative financing. And no, it's not as tricky as it sounds. Meet Pace, the genius behind this whole concept. He's been using creative financing strategies to scoop up houses with little to no money down and making a killing doing it. Here's how it works. First, you find a house where the seller is struggling to sell it. Maybe they've already tried through an agent, but no dice. You reach out and say, hey, how about I take over your mortgage payments? And surprisingly, 80% of the time, they'll say, sure, let's do it. Now, you don't need a down payment, and the mortgage stays in their name, but the deed ownership gets transferred again. Boom. You own the property, and you can start renting it out right away. And here's the kicker. You don't even need perfect credit. That's right, no credit checks, no bank approvals, and no big down payments. You simply work with the seller to take over their payments while you take ownership of the property. This is called a sub the deal. Just like that, you got a property, and it didn't cost you a dime up front. But what's the catch? Well, there are some details to be careful about. You need to stay within a short inspection window, about 10 days. If you mess up and go past that, you could lose your buyer's deposit. So, stay sharp and make sure you're on top of the deadlines. Also, if you're not careful, you might end up with a property that's harder to sell. Do your homework on the market before you jump in. Pro tip, if you're getting into this, don't be afraid to leverage other people's money. You don't need to use your own cash to make these deals happen. Find private lenders like doctors or nurses with extra cash in their retirement accounts and pay them interest to fund your deed. You get to use their money to make a profit, and they get a better return on their investment than they would sitting in a bank account. Now let's talk risk. Every deal has its pitfalls, but with creative financing, you're taking on far less risk than you might think. You're not using your own cash or credit, so your exposure is minimum. Just make sure the property has positive cash flow, and you're good to go. Got a business idea that's just wild enough to work? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're hungry for more tips and tricks to grow your wealth, check out digitalwealthclub.com.au. And remember, cash flow isn't just king, it's the crown jewels of your wealth. Stay curious, keep making moves, and check out our other content to keep leveling up your financial game.